Assalamualaikum. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar. Hari ini tim Beirut di Malaysia menyambut Aidilfitri di Bihać, Bosnia. Hari ini hari yang ke-27, negara yang ke-13, 8 hari bulan Ogos. Salam hormat dari kami, tim Beirut di Malaysia dari Bihać, Bosnia. Assalamualaikum. Fatia Mosque, previously the Church of Saint Antoine, and named the Fatia, the Arabic word faith. And this is a typical design masjid in Bosnia. One they got like wakaf here, where people take wudu from here. And previously when they designed a masjid, the water is a flow under the masjid, and naturally pressure from underneath come out, produce water for ablutions. And this is a quite common design masjid in Bosnia. And if we see on here, in Bosnia, when masjid have minaret, they call jamia. And this is a common design. Now we see it inside. Etiquette to enter masjid, we should take out our sandal shoes, and with the right step we recite doa, Allahumma aftahli abwaba rahmatik. So this is the design. This is go to upstairs for ladies, and we go to the main hall. This area is where Imam is standing, facing to Qiblat, and this area called Mihrab. Mihrab have two purposes. One is to concentrate, where to control our gaze. The Imam can control focus in prayer. And the second thing, in previous day they designed to give a proper acoustic, where Imam standing here recite Ayatul Quran, and the whole audience in the masjid can listen. And on this side we call embark, where Imam can go up and deliver sermon or khutbah, especially during Friday prayer or during celebration of Aidilfitri or Aidil Adha.
So what made you pick the Balkan states?
Another route is we can drive all the way to Italy. Then from Italy we catch ferry. So, but we already mentioned people that we try to travel by road. So one of the best way to travel by road is to travel through Balkan. And of course in Balkan there are so many historic places. I remember like Bosnia, Herzegovina, well known before there is a war, I think a few years ago. I think one of the latest country facing war in Europe. Hari ini hari yang ke-28 perjalanan Beirut to Malaysia. Negara yang ke-13 kami di Sarajevo, di hadapan Masjid King Fahad.
Bosnia is a lovely country. You know, it's very natural beauty, but it had a sadness in it. It has in some way the eerie feelings, you know, not just the mother losing the child, but, you know, the one that my husband interviewed, you know, is a child that see, you know, the parents, you know, being killed in front of him. I couldn't imagine the trauma that they go through. For me, you can feel the sort of the sadness surrounding, you know, even though it's been a long time, it's probably not, you know, not been shown anymore, you know, but you can tell the trauma behind the people.
Tanah perkuburan di Travnik, dan sebahagian besar daripada kubur-kubur ini adalah mangsa peperangan, pembersihan kaum, ethnic cleansing
di sekitar 1995 hingga 1997. Ribuan masyarakat Islam telah dibunuh. Satu pelajaran yang cukup menyayat hati, sehingga sekarang berlaku pertempuran di antara satu bangsa yang sama, bahasa yang sama, tetapi oleh kerana agama yang berbeza. Apa yang berlaku di negara Bosnia merupakan pelajaran bagi kita, terutama bagi penduduk Malaysia dan umat Islam seluruh alam. Mudah-mudahan perkara seperti ini tidak berulang lagi, dan usaha-usaha untuk memelihara bangsa kita, agama kita perlu dibuatkan secara berterusan. Daripada tanah kita dijadikan dan kepada tanah kita dikembalikan, dan daripadanya kita dibangkitkan semula pada kali yang lain. Kullu nafsin za'iqatul maut. Setiap yang bernyawa pasti merasai mati. Tapi persoalannya, bagaimanakah keadaan mati menentukan bagaimana keadaan kita akan bangun semula. Kami tim By Road to Malaysia singgah sebentar di travelogue yang satu ketika dulu adalah pusat pemerintahan Khalifah. 1 Syawal di perantauan, hari yang ke-27, negara yang ke-13 buat kami. Sehingga kita bertemu lagi. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And this is brother Yasmin from Sarajevo, Bosnia. He will tell a bit about his experience during war time between Bosnia and Serbia.
I don't know what to tell. I'm not good at English. My English is not good, so I don't know. It was a difficult time in that period. I lost my father and my mother. My mother died before in front of me 2 meters, and my father died like a fighter in a war, like Shahid.
Mm-hmm. So he lost both of his parents. His father Shahid and his mother been killed in front of him.
That time I was 10 years old.
Yeah, 10 years old. I think this is a good lesson for us, especially in Malaysia. The peace and what we have at the moment, we should hold properly. What happened in Bosnia actually is a lesson for us, not only for Bosnian, but for lesson for everybody. So you said this, at the moment between Bosnia and Serbia there is no friction.
No friction now. It's new time. Everybody try to forget and try to succeed and get a better life to live. But before 10 years there was a sanction. There was radicals, too much radicals between Serbs and Muslims. Now it's quite better.
Okay. So forgive and forget between
Younger people and the next generation. I think it's going to be good.
I think this is quite hard for us after we have a scar in our life, something a bad experience. Try to forgive and forget. And thank you very much for Yasmin. We hope the country become developed more, get prosperity. And inshallah, yeah.
So you interviewed someone and they shared their story with you. Safini, how did you feel as a mother hearing that story of someone who lost their family?
You know, when you actually listen to a story like that, face to face, in real, of course it's different, than what you see in the TV and things like that. It's totally different. So having to experience yourself, very different. And my husband, the one who interviewed, and I think, probably, very deep into the conversation, and he wanted to share that as well, so other people can see how hard and how hurt it can be from the war.
And another thing, a good thing about Bosnia, they try to forgive and forget what happened. It's no point keep thinking about what happened in the past, but this is a time to build up again the country. So I think that's the positive thing about the new generation over there. They not try to revenge or something. They said we try to forgive and forget, and together live together in peace and build up the country.
The feelings can be, quite mixed because, it was sort of sad at the same time because, you can see everywhere the mark of the bullets, isn't it? On
shell,
lots of building and then lots of graveyard.
Our emotion, for example, when we stop to pray our prayer in Sarajevo, after that people collect together, 1,000 people in one place, and suddenly we hear the sound of explosion. But it's just not real, like not from cannon. They just, I don't know, they're using a crack or something. That sound really bring you to something, oh, this is what people face in the war zone. And because you are surrounded by the building, damaged building because of the shell from the cannon, and you can feel how to live in the war zone at that time.
Hari ini 2 Syawal, kami berada di Sarajevo selepas solat Jumaat. Kesan daripada perang, kita nampak lubang-lubang daripada artileri.
When we get into masjid, everyone welcome you. You feel like you're part of the community. And everyone shake hand, everyone wondering why we are coming.
We haven't really celebrated Eid in Malaysia, so we don't know the full extent of how it feels back at our country.
But how is it different from Britain?
Well, when they all joined together in congregation to pray, everyone prayed outside. That was really nice. I think they were just all really warm and welcoming. We met somebody who invited us to their house, but he was from Turkey and he knew we were doing this trip, and he said come over to Turkey, and I think we spent the day with him in Bosnia on Eid. I feel like there's a sense of community. It felt like one big family.
So, do you have a fond memory in Europe that stood out the most?
I'd say Bosnia. I think
Why?
Bosnia was that one country where it was I didn't expect it. Obviously, I was highly anticipating China and Turkey, but Bosnia was this one country that sort of I held very close to me. After visiting there, I don't know if it was just the time of year that we were visiting, but it was so ideal. We had our Eid in Bosnia.
How was it celebrating Eid in Bosnia?
It's not much different from here, because in the morning they pray together, Idul Fitr, they prayer together, and also some people there also invite to the house to have a meal. But so we also at that time we stay in the masjid compound, in the mosque compound. We park there, so we met a lot of people. Even I met a lot of people which I knew before, because before I think 2010, I went to Bosnia to visit Bosnia in 2010. So this is a second opportunity to meet again the people who I met before.
Menunggu tram dari Masjid King Fahad on the way to Bartashia ataupun the Sarajevo Old Town. Day 28.
How did you find it in Bosnia?
For the journey, the Bosnia is sort of a little bit relaxing after the whole month of Ramadan and traveling. So we arrived in Bosnia just a day before Eid. So it's a little bit of sort of rushing, finishing the last day of fasting, and then the Eid, and we were in this campsite, and then and the next day was Friday prayer, and then we managed to go to the masjid, and travel around Sarajevo. It's really nice to actually be able to have that rest after quite hard work of traveling in Ramadan.
This is another experience in Bosnia, been called by television because they want to know, they want try to find out how we celebrate Eid during the journey in Bosnia.
Bay Mosque, courtyard. Ini antara masjid zaman Khalifah.
Balkan country is so beautiful in its own ways. You go through the Europe countries and you see different scenery, mountain, tunnel, things like that. But going through Balkan country, and then you have to go through sort of other places like Albania, Montenegro, is near to Mediterranean Sea. It was really lovely. The scenery is breathtaking. I mean, Bosnia itself, the river is like a green color. So, the beauty is very outstanding. A lot of nature beauty that untouched.
Hari ini 4 hari bulan Syawal, hari yang ke-30. Kami dalam perjalanan daripada Sarajevo ke Mostar. Singgah sebentar untuk makan tengah hari di Istanbul Restoran. Yabalnika, kalau betul lah sebutan. Sungai yang membesar, seolah-olah seperti tasik dengan air yang begitu jernih hijau.
So we were actually 7 days in Bosnia. We'll be able to also go to the old town of Sarajevo. There's a lot to visit in Bosnia in terms of history. And over there, we also met someone from Turkey, you remember?
Yeah. Abdulaziz, yeah.
Yeah, which then we met him again,
Ankara.
when we were in Ankara. And then we managed to go to visit a few other places, including, is it Mostar?
Yeah, Mostar.
Yeah, Mostar would have the old bridge over there. So it was really nice to actually be able to visit all those, iconic historical places.
Yeah, we enter Bosnia from Bihak, if I pronounce correctly, and we exit from Mostar down south.
A lot of their campsite is next to the rivers.
Very natural, you can see.
Yeah, very natural beauty. So I think we quite enjoying very much in Bosnia at the time. I think it's a natural, for the Muslim people, and for the hospitality that they have towards other people, especially people who traveling as a musafir. I think it's quite normal, welcoming situation.
Assalamualaikum. Today is day number 30, so almost a month in Beirut, Malaysia travel all the way from United Kingdom to Malaysia. Day 13, currently in Bosnia, in Mostar, in Blagaj, and this place called Tekia. And historically, this place is established by two wali from India, who came from India and they stay here. And today, it's become like an attractive tourist area. They call Tekia Blagaj. And until we see you again next time,
Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
The people, first of all, were very, very nice. The culture and everything, I felt like we had a real opportunity to like walk around amongst everyone, try the food. It was also how seamless sort of like Islam was sort of like already built into the country. You know, they could have like the adhan playing out loudly, and it was like so refreshing having so many people, like everyone's responding to it.
Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah.
It definitely was a new thing to us, because I think besides from that Eid, we've never had an Eid anywhere else besides the UK.
Yeah.
And so going there, it's sort of, like Heath mentioned, like an Islamic country, and it was something very unusual for us, because Eid is usually just, you know, primarily just like friends,
yeah,
sort of family,
some friends over, yeah.
and just sort of your close circle, but this was sort of out of our comfort zone in another country where we've never been to. We don't speak the local Bosnian language, and it was just sort of a new thing to us. But it was honestly, it was great. Yeah.
It's also like a very beautiful country. Like I didn't really expect it to be like to be as nice as it was. Like I think, especially because like a lot of people are like aware of like the history of Bosnia, and it's funny because I think the country is still just as beautiful, even with like the history of it, like sort of remaining on its walls and stuff. Like it is sad when you hear stories from other people, but to see how the country is like prospered even after its history, it's like it's amazing.
1993 tapi dibina semula jambatan yang dibina zaman Khalifah Osman dulu. Jernihnya air sungai di Mostar yang telah menyimpan sejarah silam daripada pembangunan yang dibina oleh Khalifah Osman zaman komunis, peperangan di antara Bosnian dengan Serbia. Hari ini hari yang ke-32 pengembaraan Beirut ke Malaysia, negara yang ke-13 Bosnia Herzegovina. Kami berada di Mostar.
Haydi.
Pertama kami sampai pada tahun 1997. Masjid yang pertama kami semayang sampai dan di sebelah sini adalah kubur para syuhada ketika peperangan 1993, peperangan Februari, yang mana di seberang sana adalah orang Kristian yang menyerang orang Islam. Ada yang syahid pada 1993, 1994. Banyakkannya adalah 1993. Al-Fatihah. Nampak semua 1993. Banyakkan 1993. 1993. 1993. 1993. Puluhan ribu orang Islam Bosnia korban dalam peperangan ini. Kalau tengok di dinding-dinding, kita nampak kesan tembakan.
You look funny with this headset.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma la aisha illa aishul akhirah. Hari ini hari yang ke-34. Kami berada di satu teluk. Pemandangan cukup menarik.
Along the journey, we don't have any medical problem. Even the temperature is some place we went is maybe 20 below zero and high altitude. But Alhamdulillah, the whole family they not really feel like any medical problem along the journey.
Yeah. I think it's, of course, that is one of the reasons that, you know, we be able to make that decision, because in some way we don't have any underlying disease or any underlying problems in terms of health. The kids, I would say that even me and my husband, I would say that we are rarely being sick or ill, you know. But then I do prepare some, you know, some of the things, for example, because you don't know where you're going to go. Sometimes, you know, what you'll be able to eat, you know, food poisoning, especially when you travel, and things like that. So I did prepare some basic medication, but Alhamdulillah, we never actually being ill except for probably a little bit of stomach ache and things like that. You just have to be really careful when you actually wanted to eat out. Or actually
Drinking
choosing
water.
the restaurant and things like that. So most of the time, of course, we cook, you know, and find somewhere that we can eat. But it is very important as well at the same time to look at, especially the cleanliness.
Hari ini hari yang ke-33 perjalanan kami daripada United Kingdom ke Malaysia. Sekarang berada di Montenegro, di sekitar Laut Adriatik. Di Islam yang membawa kemajuan di kawasan-kawasan ini. Bukanlah Islam bukan penghalang kepada kemajuan, tetapi Islam sebenarnya yang memajukan masyarakat di Eropah. Sebab itu bila kita belajar sejarah tentang Dark Age, pada ketika itu Islam telah berada di kemuncak, sedangkan orang-orang Eropah nak mandi pun tak tahu. Inilah kehebatan Khalifah Osman yang mengembangkan empire dia sehingga masuk ke Balkan dan sehingga mau ke Vienna, Austria. InsyaAllah kami dalam perjalanan ke Albania. Perjalanan kami baru sekitar 4,300 km. Dan jumlah perjalanan dijangka 28,000. Ada beberapa cabaran yang akan datang, yang kami kena duduk, kena fikir semula. Yang pertama adalah macam mana nak masuk Iran.
Montenegro is another very nice, beautiful scenery. I remember we stay overnight in one, I think, town, or they call Kotor, Kotor. We surrounded by water at the fjord. That's very nice. But unfortunately, we only stay one night. We continue along the way. We stop by the fjord. Even I can remember it's Shamim and Saif jump into water at that time.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, we try to enjoy from the Mediterranean Sea.
Honestly, it's crazy. You hear that, you know, all those billionaire, millionaire celebrities having their yachts going around the fjord of Mediterranean, you know, for the holiday, and then it is crazily breathtaking. You're driving through next to the cliff,
Yeah.
isn't it, along the fjord, and the water is sort of greenish colors, see all those cliff and mountain around you. And then I think that campsite that we stopped by, we arrived there, our motorway is actually facing this lovely mountain. So we woke up in the morning, you know, it's beautiful, with the green grass surrounding.
And the temperature is around, I think, 18, 19 degrees.
Yeah,
very
it
good.
was,
It's very
it
nice.
was lovely.
Meeting local people, that's the real thing.
Hari ini hari yang ke-35, negara yang ke-15, hari Jumaat. Berapa belas bulan hari ini? 16 hari bulan Ogos ya. 2013. Kami berada di sebelah Albania menghala ke Macedonia. Pemandangan sebentar tadi ataupun yang kita nampak sekarang ini adalah satu tasik yang dipunyai oleh 3 negara. Negara kepunyaan Albania, kepunyaan Macedonia dan Greece. InsyaAllah kami telah meninggalkan tapak perkemahan tadi jam 12.30 hari. Sekarang pukul 5 petang. Setelah 5 jam berjalan, Alhamdulillah, semua kami anak beranak sihat walafiat, sambil menikmati keindahan.
What is going on here?
Macedonia. Tiba-tiba jalan yang cantik ni, jalan berturap, telah menjadi jalan batu-batan. Macam mana navigator?
Yep, that's fine.
Sebab tadi ada satu simpang ke kiri.
Ya, simpang tu jalan macam tu.
Dengan kenderaan ini motorhome bukan didesain untuk off-road driving. Kami cuba memperlahankan sebab impact kepada struktur bergantung kepada berapa banyak load kita kenakan. Kalau kita bawa laju, langgar satu batu, berbeza. Kesan yang bila kita bawa 60 batu sejam dengan 30 batu sejam dengan 10 batu sejam adalah berbeza kepada struktur. InsyaAllah hari ini kami akan berhenti di campsite kepunyaan di sebelah Albania yang tak berjauhan dengan Macedonia. InsyaAllah ada kesempatan besok kami akan masuk ke Macedonia untuk meneruskan perjalanan menghala ke Greece dan Turki. InsyaAllah kita akan bertemu lagi dalam video-video yang akan datang. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
People travel across from Europe to Asia. So most of the people we met, they always say this is the first time they see people travel over land. Not only about the travel over land with children, something look like very crazy, but sometimes people also can appreciate how children can learn from the journey. I think that's one thing, and people say, oh, this is another thing, another way to educate our children. Yeah.